All right, so we're back on this thing, finally. The other day, I went ahead and put the push rods in, rocker arms, valve covers, got the headers on, got all the grounds on the back of the head bolted in, got the condenser back in, and in typical fashion for my channel, I thought I was recording it. I guess I didn't push play, so we don't have any of that footage, but you didn't really miss anything other than me getting my ass whooped by this header on the driver's side. I don't know why. For some reason, it wanted to fight me. So, and that's when I found out that the camera wasn't working, because I dicked with it for a pretty good while and got frustrated and was going to turn the camera off, and it was already off. So, anyway. But yeah, we're coming along. Didn't really have a whole lot of trouble. Oh, like I said, other than that header. Did have to get the little gaskets for the steam port in the head. I really wanted to run like a 4-port like this one. This one has a hole in it, so it leaks. And I don't have another one, and they're expensive as hell, so I ain't gonna buy one. I started to pull the one off of this. It's a Motion Raceworks, and I was going to use it, but the intake won't fit on there, so we're just using these. But anyway, I'm going to try to get the front cover on. Try to get y'all set up here where y'all can see what's going on. Make dang sure it's recording this time. Dab just a little bit of silicone down in the corners where it meets the oil pan. Maybe if it ain't all dried up. Just a little dab there. I've got the little centering tool that you're supposed to use on this, so hopefully this works. Try to line my gasket up. Come on. Get these run in. I'm not going to tighten them all the way down because I got to get the ones on the bottom for the oil pan started too. Just kind of snug it up a little bit. Wrong direction. Make sure I can get these started before I tighten that all the way up. be nice if I could see. Dark as shit under here. Come on. Bastard. Tool has an O-ring on it and it doesn't want to come out. There. And this tool doubles as a seal installer also. I'll tell you what, it's so dark in this shop, I can't see nothing. Alright, now I gotta find my balancer installer tool. Well, that's a long-winded thing. I have to get a deep well socket. I'm going to run it up with my impact, and then it has to be torqued to some ungodly amount. Oh, my battery's dying. Anyway, we'll get that run all the way back in and get it torqued down. I'm just going to leave the tool in there for now so I don't forget, because I think I had to take the starter off to install my little tool that holds the crank, or holds the flywheel so the crank don't turn while you're torquing that down, because like I said, it is an ungodly amount. I don't remember, I had to look up the actual specs, but it's a lot. You know what I haven't done though? I haven't set the intake on there to see if the hood's going to clear. Let's do that real quick. Oh yeah, that'll work. I'll tell you what, I can't keep up with nothing. I've lost more tools here recently. All my batteries are dead or half dead on all my tools. All right, go ahead and set the intake on it. Later. Remember what I did with bolts. And these are factory truck intake bolts, so we'll see how good they work. They just barely seem long enough. Way. What else back there needs to come up here? Yes. Some thread sealing on that. Well, come on. I hate these clamps like that. Whew. Ah, dang it. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. This one is gonna go down to the valve cover. I think all that stuff's gonna be in the way of my throttle cable though. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly, but as long as it works, right? So I need to put the spark plugs in. Got a little stubby swivel ratchet that I know I used when I was taking this apart that I cannot find to save my life. And I really need it. Oh, come on, get in there. I guess this is probably something I should have checked before I put these heads on to make sure all these threads were okay. That would make too much sense though. All right, before I get too more involved in this, I got to make up my injector adapters because I didn't buy the ones I needed. That's the hell with it. I've got these, so basically what I need is this end. I don't know if y'all can see that, if it's focusing on it, right here, and then this end. Somebody commented in my last video wanting to know what the part numbers were. The ones that I bought, I don't know if this is what he's wanting to know or not. I gotta find my glasses because I can't read that. I can't find my glasses. Oh, here they are. So these are ITC billet 036690284, which is this one. And then these, I bought these a long time ago for something else, and I wound up going a different route, so I never used them. But I don't know what the part number is on those because I don't have the package anymore. They were just, I have like a drawer of just like LS crap, and I just had them in there, but I don't have the bag that they came in. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is just splice, you know, cut the ends off that I need and splice them together and make the ones that I need. I still got to put the coil brackets on. Some of these holes were stripped out, but you know, it's not crucial that I have every one of them in there, I don't think. And you know, cross threading is nature's Loctite, so I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. I think the majority of them are fine, but I think one or two on each side, or the holes in the valve covers are stripped out, and I didn't want to have to replace valve covers just for that. And the only ones I have are freaking nasty, so I didn't want to have to go through all that trouble just for a couple of little strip bolts. So anyway, I'll get these made up. I won't make you watch me do that. It's just boring and tedious. I'm just going to solder them together and put heat shrink on them. It's just tedious and takes a long time, so nobody wants to watch that. So I'll get that done and then we'll get back on this thing. But hopefully we'll have the majority of this thing all together this weekend. I do have a lot going on. You know, it is the holiday season, so I'm just having to, you know, get a couple hours in here and there where I can, because we are doing a little traveling and going and seeing kids and grandkids and have other functions that we have to do. So I ain't getting to spend a lot of time out here, not as much as I want to, but I guess that's my fault for picking the worst time of the year to tear my car all apart. But you know, we're getting close, and I'll be gone most of the day tomorrow, and I'm not sure about Sunday because this is Friday, so I'm not sure about Sunday, if we got anything going on Sunday or not. I'm sure we do, but hopefully I at least get it together enough to where we might be able to fire it up. I think it'll run off the tune that's in it. It will have to be retuned, obviously, and that'll be another thing. The guy that does my tuning for me, he stays backed up, like he's good at what he does, so everybody needs him to do stuff. So getting with him, coordinating his schedule and my schedule might take a little while, but I mean, that ain't no big deal. I understand the guy's busy, so, and that's good for him, you know. I'm glad for him that we have somebody this, you know, locally, because we, you know, I live out in the middle of freaking nowhere out in the Tules, so it's nice to have somebody local that does that, you know, that I don't have to drag this thing 3 towns over to get somebody to do it. This guy's 1 town over, really good at what he does. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So I'll get those harnesses done and then we'll get back on it. All right, before we get too far into this, I do want to say something. I think it was last week I broke 100 subscribers, which I know doesn't sound like a lot in this day of, you know, people with 100,000 or millions of followers. But it's a big deal for me because that's about 90 more than I thought I would get. So I thought it was pretty cool. And I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everybody that has subscribed, all the people that like my stuff, all the people that comment. I do try to at least react or comment back on every comment. It may be a day or two. It may not be the instant you post it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think last time I looked, I was at 141, which is wild to me that anybody would want to watch me do this dumb crap that I do. But I do appreciate it, and it's been a weird experience. I ain't gonna lie. When I first started doing this, I was real apprehensive about it. I've thought about it for a long time and just never could talk myself into doing it. It's weird, like filming yourself. There's a few things I've learned since I've started doing YouTube videos. One, talking on camera is very uncomfortable. Like I still struggle with it. Like I've been doing this about 6 months now, maybe. And like it's a weird deal. Like I feel like I'm just out here talking to myself and talking on camera. Like I still get nervous. Like I freeze up because I'm usually not in real life I'm not usually this uncomfortable. And but yeah, it's definitely weird. I hope that I've gotten a little better, and I hope I continue to get a little better. And I hope everybody kind of sticks with me. I've got some cool stuff I want to do. I got plenty of cars to work on, and that's another thing too. I've also learned with doing YouTube videos is it takes a lot longer than I anticipated. You know, with the actual filming and the editing and all that stuff. It takes a lot more time. I do work a full-time job. I do have other things going on besides just doing YouTube. Like I know you've heard me mention my kids don't live here. They live far away. Not far away, but a few hours for, a couple hours for one, about 4 hours for the other. I have grandkids that we like to go see. So I don't have every weekend to get out here and work. And usually by the time I get off work for my job, on my job, and get home and get supper ate and all that, it's usually late and I'm tired. And so getting out here during the week, I've done it a few times, but it's hard. Definitely for my old ass. But anyway, so that's, finding the time to get out here and actually work and then do all the stuff that needs to be done to get a video out. It's definitely more than I anticipated, because before you start doing it, you think, you just film it and put it online. No, that ain't how it works. What else? Also, just learning YouTube. Like, there's things about YouTube that I still don't get, and I'm not super tech savvy. I'm sure y'all figured that out by now. But like editing the videos, I don't have a lot of high dollar equipment. I do have a GoPro. I do need to get some better, like a mic for it and a few other things, but I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on this until I had done it for a while and see if I was going to continue to do it. And sometimes I just use my phone. I know the quality isn't as good, but it seems like every time I come out here, the batteries are dead. I forget to plug my batteries in for my GoPro or whatever. And sometimes it's easier to just grab the phone and do a quick little thing. But yeah, like, I knew like you couldn't use like copyrighted music and stuff, and I don't have like, fancy editing software. I just use what's on my phone and iPad. And it had some music on it that I just assumed was royalty free because the way they described it, it was. So I think my very first video I got flagged for a copyright thing. So I hate having to put music in the videos. I try not to do it unless I just don't have to. I found one little clip on YouTube's actual thing that I'll use every now and then if I got to do some like time lapse or whatever. But I try to avoid that. And but yeah, I know I still stumble over my words and stuff, but a lot of that is because I'm a potty mouth, and I try not to be in my videos. So like when you see me like mid-sentence stop talking and kind of stare off into space, it ain't because I don't know what to say. I'm trying to figure out how to say it without being vulgar. Because I want everybody to be able to watch my stuff. You know, kids, old folks, whatever. I don't want to alienate anybody because I'm being inappropriate. So, and it's hard to, like, I have a really weird sense of humor, so I know I'm not real funny on camera because my humor is kind of out there. So I don't want my channel to be flagged for being inappropriate or whatever. So that's what that is. Like when you see me like just pause and just kind of like stare off into space, it's because I'm trying to think of a better way to say what I'm trying to say and not be, you know, cussing like a sailor or whatever. I grew up in the automotive business and worked with guys that's just how they all talked. You know, sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing it. I know I've let a few slip here and there, but you know, some of the cartoons these kids watch have worse stuff in it than what I've said on my videos, so I think it's all right. But yeah, it's definitely been an experience doing these YouTube videos. But the reason I started doing it was I thought it would motivate me to really get out in the shop and work on my stuff. And it has to a point. Like I've done a lot more than I probably would have if I wasn't doing this, because I don't have like a set schedule. Like I don't say, you know, every week on Friday I'm putting a video out, or every week on Saturday or whatever. I mean, sometimes it may be 2 weeks before I get a video out because just the way my life and schedule is. But I would like to get to where I can at least put out one good video a week, but you know, we'll see how that goes. I ain't gonna promise anything, but I think if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't have worked on my car as much as I had. And so it's been good for that, and it's something for me to do, and I do enjoy it, even though, like I said, it's still a little uncomfortable, but I'm getting a little more comfortable doing it. But, and like I don't like plan like what I'm going to talk about, or obviously if you've watched any of my videos, there's not a lot of planning going on at all around here. I just kind of start doing it and, you know, turn the camera on, and whatever happens. So I'm not like making a script or, you know, this is what I'm going to talk about, this is how I'm going to say it, or none of that. So that, you know, I know lots of times I kind of ramble on or get off track, but anyway, I'll figure it out, hopefully. And like I said, I hope everybody stays with me, and hopefully we can continue to grow this channel and build some cool cars. And hopefully when I get done with the gray car, get the motor and everything back together in it, I think the only real big thing after that is I'm going to have to do something with the rear end, and then we're going to move on to something else. We're going to work on either the Firebird or the other Ratty GTO. Maybe y'all can tell me which one you want to see. I'm not real sure on the other GTO which direction I'm going to go with it. I know it needs floor pans and some rust repair around the windows and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really know. I kind of want to do like a pro touring thing with it. You know, good brakes, good suspension, badass motor, all that. But who knows? We just may make another ratty one like this. But that one will definitely be Pontiac powered. I don't think I'm going to LS it, because I've got several things that will be LS. This probably the C10 will probably get an LS motor just because they're easy and reliable. So the black car will probably definitely be Pontiac powered, hopefully, and 4-speed. It was a 4-speed car also. So but yeah, I don't know if anybody, I can't remember what all I've talked about on this car, but I bought this car when I was 17 and I'm 50 now, so I've had it a while. But yeah, I drug it home, threw a battery on it, and cobbled up some exhaust, and I drove it for several years. It was originally this kind of gold color, but when I got it, it had like 15 different colors of primer on it, and me and my buddies just rattle canned it flat black, and that's how it was the whole time I had it. Disc brake car. It's pretty other than the floorboards, it's solid. Like the rockers are good, the quarters are good. You know, I think I'm getting a little bit of bubbling, but there's no rot. You know, I think the worst part is going to be like down in this window channel, and then right here, I think I showed that before, the crappy fiberglass job. I think there's a pretty good size hole right there, and I'm sure up around the window is rotted out. But anyway, I kind of rambled, but I wanted to just make a point that, you know, I appreciate everybody that does follow me, and I hope we can continue growing the channel. And so tell your friends, share, like, do all that stuff, and hopefully we'll get this car back together pretty soon. All right, well, it's starting to look like a motor. I got the wiring harnesses done up for the injectors. Got the coil packs on. I'll have to, you know, zip tie all this crap out of the way and make it a little neater, but everything's plugged in. Plug wires are on. Got the throttle cable on. Heater hoses. Just a few little things I did. Still got a long ways to go, but we're getting there. I mean, it does at least look like a motor somewhat. But yeah, I had to clean all this up and make it a little neater. It's all just kind of cobbled up looking. I still got to take the fans off of this radiator and try to figure out how to mount them on that one. Hopefully it all works. We'll see. And we went ahead and got the balancer all torqued down, put a new bolt in it. You always have to, or they say you always got to replace the bolt, so I do. I know I've seen people reuse them, but they say you're not supposed to. So here's the old one, which, whatever. And then all this mess has got to go back on. That's gonna be a nightmare. I ain't looking forward to that at all, but it's gotta be done. Of course, we'll have to change oil and everything in it. I got all the stuff for that. Still got to hook the exhaust up to the headers. So we still got a lot to do, but we're getting there. So what is all that? Anyway, got a bunch of wiring I got to figure out. That's a bad thing, is it's been apart for a while now. So figuring out where all this stuff goes is going to be a trick. And figuring out how all this stuff goes back together. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I'll figure it out. It may take me a few minutes to cipher on it and scratch my head a few times, but we'll get it. But anyway, these injector harnesses will definitely have to be zip tied out of the way and all that good stuff. But anyway, we'll get there. All right, so I got the radiator set down in there, just temporary for right now. I just want to make sure it's going to fit. It looks like everything's going to work. I'm going to pull it back out to do all the front drive accessories. But yeah, it's a little bigger than the other one, and it's made a little different, but I think it's going to work. Got the fans mounted on it, so that was pretty easy. It just, I mean, it was perfect fit for that, so that wasn't a problem. But yeah, slowly but surely getting there. I think I'm gonna stop for tonight and hopefully get back out here tomorrow, maybe either tomorrow afternoon, after I get done doing what I gotta do tomorrow, or Sunday. But hopefully I get at least everything back together. I don't know if it will run this weekend or not, but hopefully have everything back together and get it ready to where all we gotta do is make sure it's gonna run. We don't have any leaks or any problems before we get it tuned and all that. So, but anyway, we'll just see how the weekend goes, but hopefully we'll be back out here shortly. All right, so I wound up getting it on there. I had to take these bolts out and grind just a little bit off of them. I guess those holes in the heads just aren't as deep as them other ones for some reason. But anyway, got the compressor on. Everything on this side's done. So this other side is going to be a little more involved because the one with the compressor, it all come off in one piece. This one you had to take it apart, kind of like in layers, like everything. Like you had to put the first bracket on, then the pump and everything, then the other bracket, and then the pulley and all that. So it's going to be a little more involved. I hope I don't have to grind the bolts on this one. We'll see. I thought I had kind of laid it out how it was supposed to go, but I really don't remember. I think this is the one that goes to the block because it has the countersunk bolts and the little spacer there, kind of like the other one. And then this one, I think I just left it like it was. So these obviously go in between this and this. So I'm pretty sure this is the one that bolts to the head first. And then you only got the one countersunk bolt. This is where, when you buy stuff like this and you install it, don't throw away the instructions, because I guess that's what I did. I remember, you know, putting it up somewhere, but I guess I may have thrown it away, who knows. But anyway, I'll get that all figured out and get it on there, hopefully. It may take some trial and error, but we'll get it figured out. All right, so it's about an hour later and a lot of cussing and tool throwing, but we got her back together. Got the belt on, got the alternator all hooked up. That was not fun, but anyway, it's in there. Getting closer by the minute. So I'm gonna try to get this radiator set in there, get it all hooked up. I had to get the fans wired back in. I'm gonna try to find a connector where I can, if I have to take it out again, I could just unplug it so I don't have to cut the wires like I did the last time. Which, when I originally put it in there, that's how I set it up. And so I can't remember what happened. I remember if I think I had the wrong like gauge wire. It kept popping fuses, and so I put some bigger wire and I just wired it direct. So anyway, we'll get that done and get back at it. Well, just like that, she's whole again. Finally got it all back together. Still got to change the oil. I got to hook the exhaust up, so I got to get it jacked up. And then I still got some wires I got to clean up and zip tie out of the way. But everything is bolted back on, as far as I know, unless I forgot something. I don't see any extra parts laying, so I think we're good. So I'll get her jacked up and we'll get the oil draining. I've already put coolant in it, power steering fluid in it. Like I said, I still got to hook the exhaust up to the headers. And then I'm just going to kind of give everything a once over before we try to start it. So I'll get that done and we'll get back at it. She's alive. About 50 pounds of oil pressure. Charging. Temp ain't come up yet. It's only been running a couple minutes, so. leaking out from underneath it. Struggling a little bit with the idle. Yeah, she didn't want to idle too good at first, but I think the tune's just off for all the changes we made. But it is back together and it runs, so I'm glad for that. I'm tired of working on this thing. But anyway, I'll get it, all the bugs worked out of it and clean up all the wire. I still haven't done all that. I just want to hear it run. No fuel leaks, no coolant leaks, no oil leaks yet. Of course, it only run for a couple minutes. I'll try to get with the guy to come tune it as soon as possible, and that'll probably be on the next video, because I think that's going to be it for this one. I really can't do much else until I get it tuned. I got a few little things I did find out when I was underneath it. I did break another exhaust hanger, so I had to fix that. Just piddly stuff, but anyway, she runs. Sounds pretty good, you know, to be not tuned for what's going on with it, just on the old tune. I like it. I just hope she runs a lot better than she did, but we'll find out pretty soon. Thanks for, everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.